What we try to do at Minor Family Winery with respect to our wines is that we try to make our wines, of course, interesting. And how do we do that? Well, first off, we want them to taste good. And two, we want them to be food compatible. And three, and this is kind of a very unifying character here, we want them to be fun. Making them is absolutely a blast. And we want people drinking them to enjoy them such that there's a smile put on their faces. We try to take some of the mystique out of making wine. At least I've always liked that. Thought of that as very important.
You're supposed to drink wine, it's fun cellaring it to get it to a point where you want it to be at, but open it up, try it out.
Our overall approach to wines is to not be stuffy or talk down to people, and I think when we produce wines, we go for wines that are very food oriented and food friendly. I grew up in a family where wine was an integral part of the meal. So even as a child, I was allowed to have a small glass of wine with my meal, and it's a long tradition. But to me, that's what wine should be, part of the meal. It's not something you put away and sort of worship. You pull the cork and you drink it.
Try to bring them down to sort of everyone's terms, and yet we try to make our wines, some of them, big and complicated and robust, and obviously long aging and compete with world wines. Seriousness put to our winemaking, but a good time aspect added to it as well.
Let people explore the wines to their own level. We have guests that are sommeliers, wine experts, wine buyers. We also have first-time wine tasters that have never stepped foot in a winery. And our goal is to make sure that each experience is appropriate and enjoyable. We have no problem guiding people through their first wine tasting, showing them the nuances of different grapes, showing them how to properly taste the wine, and making them feel comfortable. It can be somewhat intimidating to have a list of 10 wines before you and not really know what to do. I think we do a good job of making people feel comfortable.
We make quite a few different wines, which is unique in the Valley. Most wineries focus on 1 or 2 different wines or 3 wines. We actually make about 23 different wines. But generally very small quantities and very focused on particular vineyard sites. So we make some Sauvignon Blanc, Viognier, a couple different Chardonnays, a few different Pinot Noirs, some Sangiovese, a rosé made out of Sangiovese, some Syrah. We have a blend of Syrah, Grenache, and Mourvèdre. Cabernet, a Bordeaux-style blend, a varietal Merlot, some Petit Syrah. For our wine club, we also make a little Tempranillo, which is a Spanish varietal, and a nice blend of Portuguese varietals. So some fairly unusual things and some fairly sort of standard things, but all with a focus on quality and vineyard sites.
I think what we do really well, and we've found grape sources between what we grow ourselves and what we buy that are really specific to the grape varieties that we grow, that we make wines from, and I think all of them are really good, and they fit a lot of different profiles and price points. We really can offer a lot of different things in very good quality, which I think is a little bit unusual in this climate in the wine business these days.